what we've got onto here is a really fascinating thing about video games, especially in the modern world, is we all played games as kids, but now we're watching people push them to their mechanical limits. They're saying, can they do that? And challenges within video games have become a massive genre on YouTube. I've got a friend, a girl called Luality, who beat Dark Souls on a dance pad.
Oh, I've seen that video.
I've seen the dance pad.
I've seen that video.
Nameless King. So when people say, yes, I'm going to play a video game, okay, cool. What's the challenge? What are you going to do? What's the difficulty? I'm currently doing a Twitch stream called Dark Swoles, where I'm playing Dark Souls. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm playing Dark Souls. I've got a walking pad under my desk, so I'm constantly walking forward while I'm playing it. I've got a barbell behind me, and whenever I die, respawn at the bonfire, level up, equip an item, I spin a big wheel of fitness. And then I'm either doing, push-ups, press-ups, sit-ups, bicep curls, shoulder presses. I'm trying as hard as I can because I thought, right, I need to get fit. Let's use Dark Souls, because everyone uses Dark Souls for everything. But the idea of taking a video game and playing it in a way that is challenging, that's engaging, that's silly. Video games are something we all love. And now we're seeing them through a different lens.
Well, it's kind of like the evolution of like becoming, in terms of like a Let's Player or like a Twitch streamer, you have to make a challenge or content around it. You're not just playing a video game, you are making content, and it's always finding that new avenue or that new way to sell an audience to get you watching a game that they've maybe seen people play before, maybe an entirely new game. But keeping that interest in it.
I mean, that's also why, like, especially like in the past 5-10 years, like speed running has just become like, like so huge now. Like, it's like, I grew up playing this game and I just watched a guy beat it with his eyes closed, one hand in 20 minutes.
And then you'll watch entire documentaries about that happening. You've got people like Summoning Soul, or people like Carl Jobs.
GOAT.
We love Summoning Soul. Who will say, right, I've played Tetris, but I've got no particular interest in Tetris until he says to me, do you want to know about the world history of Tetris? I'm like, yeah, I do. I want to watch
3.5 hours on it.
Exactly. I am. Whenever a YouTuber uploads some kind of 3-hour video essay on a game that I've heard of, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch all of this. There's Accursed Farms, who does the Game Dungeon series where he plays old PC games. I will watch all of those easily. I have a 73-hour Morrowind playthrough on my channel because I was playing it on Twitch and then my editor just said, I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to take the entire gameplay and just smash it together. Turns out it's quite difficult to upload a 73-hour-long YouTube video.
Yes, it is.
How the fuck did you do it?
So what he did was he had a program that spliced together several 24-hour-long videos and then just clicked upload and hoped.
So it's up there right now?
It's up there right now. You can go to Josh Strife.
Wait, look it up. Josh Strife
replays. I think there's Morrowind and there's Fallout. So all my channels rhyme. There's Josh Strife Haze, Josh Strife Plays, Josh Strife Says, and Josh Strife Replays. But on Morrowind full playthrough, and there's also a...
Go back.
There was a full playthrough.
73.5 hours. 3 days.
Yeah, it's a 3. I didn't realize that YouTube has a days counter on the video, but there's also a Fallout.
Wait, how does it? Because I've tried to upload like 20 hours and it like shits itself.
I will. My editor's a guy called Visa. He's lovely. I will pass on all the details.
Oh my, that's insane.
So yeah, there is a full. There's also a Fallout playthrough.
You have 400,000 views on a 3-day video.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The ad revenue was pretty good.
Normally when you go to sleep to the video, you wake up and it's over.
Right. So this is exactly what's happened. People put me on the second monitor and they play my videos and they fall asleep to it. I have a friend, a YouTuber called Kadikarus. Kadikarus has started a second channel called Caddy Sleeps, where he's literally just taken his old videos, slightly lowered the volume, and people fall asleep to them. Amazing.
That's such vibe.
Absolutely incredible. But yes, I am people's sleeping content.
Sleep content has just become like a big fucking boom in the massive. I don't know. It feels like massive. It's become massive in the last few years. I remember someone uploaded like 6 hours worth of American Dad content on YouTube. I don't know how they got away with it, but Sydney's been falling asleep to American Dad because it's a 6-hour compilation of American Dad clips.
Is American Dad the kind of show that you can fall asleep to?
American Dad?
People can fall asleep. I think you don't understand. Show. People can fall asleep to anything as long as it's a 6-hour-long video, right? This is something I've found out.
It's a comfort show. People want content on that they know they'll enjoy, that they don't need to engage with. For me, it's Star Trek: The Next Generation. If I need something on in the background while I'm doing something, The Next Generation's going on. People do it with Breaking Bad. People do it with Lord of the Rings. It's just there's a level of kind of parasocial attachment to the media itself that makes people feel comfortable.
I mean, I laugh, but I would probably do it to like the first 5 seasons of Simpsons, you know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like I would do that.
And
I
then
have done that.
And
actually.
then you'd find a 3-hour video essay about something random in The Simpsons that you've never seen
I was
before.
like,
And I'm
all
like,
right.
yeah, I am going to watch this.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this.
This feels like that joke of one more video before bed. The Josh
The video. In fact,
Laura wins.
look at the comment. Look at the top comment. I'm pretty sure the top comment is
One more
it's my
video.
party and I get to choose the video or something like that. So yeah, the top
scroll
comment
down,
on
guys.
that.
Scroll down.
If you can scroll down to the
scroll
comments on that
down.
video. Just one more video
one
before
more
bed.
bed.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, the Brazilian aviation joke. So let me give
How
some
did that
context to
start?
that.
Yeah.
I got messaged by a guy who works for an industry within the Brazilian aviation industry. I think his job is translating blueprints for planes from one international standard to another. He has just a system that does this. He's discovered that his PC shuts down after about 8 hours unless there is something playing on a media player. And my worst MMO series was the longest playlist he could find that looped. So he plays that while Brazilian aviation industry technical schematics are being translated from one thing to another. So he messaged me on Twitter and just said, just so you know, Josh, if you ever take your content or channel down, the Brazilian aviation industry will suffer. He messaged me a couple of months ago saying, hey, just so you know, I've now got a new job. I now work for YouTube, but it turns out there's the same problem. So my videos play on a random monitor in the YouTube offices just to keep the monitor on. That's my contribution, you know?
I mean, that's such like an engineering solution.
It
if
is.
it works,
Yeah.
it works.
There's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution.
I need to now upload 70-hour videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, Josh, if you look up here, you can see this is not
that's
professional piece of work.
It is.
This is something that we have done. And this is
threw it.
a temporary piece of work that we said, we'll fix it,
have not fixed it.
eventually.
No, you don't need to. It's doing its job. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
It's
perfect.
been
This
almost
is
5
fine.
years now.
This is absolutely fine. There's nothing more permanent than temporary. But if you do need a 70-hour long video, Final Fantasy 14's got you covered. You could play that for 70 hours.
Shit, I might have
But
to.
you wouldn't really understand the game until you played it for 700 hours. So.
Yeah. You
I can't wait to
gotta,
see a 2-week-long video from you.
you got to step it up,
So don't worry, YouTube, I got you now.
Yeah.
So the main channel was fantastic. It was really satiating my desire to create content. It was paying the bills. I was enjoying doing it. Then the Twitch streaming was allowing me to stay active and actually talk to people, engage with the fans. But even MMOs get a little bit tiresome after a while. So I started a second channel called Josh Strife Plays. This was just to give me a mental break from MMORPGs. I wanted to play classic games. I think the first video on there was me reviewing the old Command & Conquer games, which had just been rebooted for PC. And then I thought, hang on, this is going to give me a great variation. So the Josh Strife Plays channel is now classic games. So Kingsfield 1, Kingsfield 2, Tenchu. I've replayed
Oh,
Chrono
you played
Trigger.
Golden Sun?
Golden Sun,
I
hell yeah.
fucking love Golden
I
Sun,
hadn't
dude.
played it before, so people said to me, amazing combat
Such a good
system.
game.
So clever. So I've now been able to work with the company GOG, or Good Old Games, on their kind of Dino Crisis 1 and 2 reboots, on the
hell
Soul
yeah.
Reaver remasters, on the Tomb Raider remasters. Croc. Argonauts.
yeah.
So Argonaut Software have remastered Croc, and they messaged me recently saying, hey, do you want a code to play Croc?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really kind of you, but I've
Already
not
played
got
it.
enough time right now. Already completed it, mate. So yeah, we did
Medieval. I wanna play
all of them.
Well, when you came in the office and you said, I haven't had a holiday in 6 years, looking at your,
No, it's true.
your video history, I can kind of understand why.
6 years ago was when I think I really started taking YouTube seriously. I was able to
Right.
move away from my retail jobs, my entertainment jobs, my acting jobs, and just do YouTube and just do Twitch. And I've been very fortunate, very lucky that a lot of my friends and family have supported me in doing that.
yes.
And after finding the success that I've found, I was able to buy a house, which is an incredibly rare thing
Right
for
on.
a millennial to do. I
Yes.
know, right?
Yes.
That is the flex.
Congratulations.
That's the flex right there.
Wow.
That's how you know you made it as a millennial.
Yeah.
It was difficult explaining YouTube to the mortgage advisor. He was like, so what do you do? I'm like, I make YouTube videos. She's like, oh, that's cute. What do you do?
You just see the interest ticking up
Yeah,
as you're
exactly.
explaining it. You're like,
Slowly there.
we were going to give you 2, but now it's 10.
Yeah, no. So after that success, I kind of sat back and I thought, I need to find a way to slightly compartmentalize my thoughts and maybe avoid the burnout that a lot of YouTubers will go through.
sure.
I'm going to go to Japan for a bit.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing country, absolutely stunning. Met up with Mother's Basement a couple of days ago. Lovely guy, had a drink with him.
Yes.
Met up with one of the, I think it was the communications director for Pal World. He's a fan of the video, said, hey, if you're in Japan, come and hang out. That was super cool. And I think I messaged you guys about 4 days ago as a joke on Twitter, being like, I'm in Japan if you are. I've got some time. And you responded straight away saying, yes, we're free.
Yeah, I was like,
it was beautiful.
It kind of just worked out because I'm literally flying away tonight. So this was like our last recording session for a while. So when you hit us up, it was like
beautiful.
Hey, beautiful. Actually, that works perfectly.
Serendipity. It worked perfectly.
And also, we were like, when are we ever going to get an MMO experience? And there you go. You're right there.
Well, like I'm curious because you've said a little bit about your background. What kind of background do you have? Is it like an acting background or like?
So I was born into a very working class background in general. My dad was a policeman and my mother was a civil servant for the UK government. And I think she unfortunately lost her job during the massive reshuffle about 20, 25 years ago. And then she's kind of bounced around from a couple of things, but they always, they did right by me and my brother. And I just wanted to be an actor. That's not a thing in our family. It's never been. In fact, I remember vividly, we used to have a VHS with a couple of copies of GoldenEye, the old James Bond film. And I would watch GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan, endlessly.
Yeah.
And one day my mum walked into the living room and I turned to her and I said, Mother, in my very kind of middle-class accent when I was like 8, Mother, I want to do that. And she looked at me really proud and she's like, you want to be a spy? And I'm like, no, Mother, I want to be Pierce Brosnan. And then I just wanted to act. So I did the kind of school drama club. I went to do all the acting jobs I possibly could. I was a martial arts instructor about 3 or 4 years, which just put me in front of people. Then I was a civilian.
Was this part of the acting thing or
so
just something completely
I think
separate?
my mum just wanted to get rid of me for a few hours every week, so made me learn karate, as everyone else can do. She's like, just go over here. And my instructor pulled me aside and said, hey, I need you to teach the kind of younger kids how to do punches and kicks.
Right.
That's where I got my foundation and my grounding for teaching and for engaging. And then from there, I went on to work with the Royal Navy for a little bit as a self-defense instructor. That was super fun. I was never a commissioned officer. I was just a civilian contractor for them, but super cool guys to work with, really good fun. Then I decided to go to university and study acting. Thankfully, I was able to get one of the university kind of student loans. My main plan to pay that back is to die. That's what it is. And then from there, I was able to find small work in theatre, small work in film and TV.
Right.
And that kind of pushed me now into the entertainment and the education world.
And now you play MMOs.
And now I play MMORPGs as a living. It's an interesting life. It really is.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so colorful.
It's definitely exposed me to what I would call the more extreme fringes of the video game community.
Right.
So I put a video up on my main MMORPG channel recently where I ranked 250 MMORPG games.
Okay.
So,
sorry, have you played all of these?
Most of them, yes.
Okay.
Not all of them. If we go to Josh Strife Hayes, it should be one of the most recent videos.
How long is this video?
That video
3
is,
days?
we'll find out. It's the Josh Strife Hayes one, and it's the tier list. There we go. The one, nearly 2 hours. So what I did was I said, okay,
Jesus,
I want to rank every single MMORPG, but I don't have time to play all of them. So what I did, in fact, if we let this play through for a second, you will see me holding up a sheet, a physical printed paper sheet.
Right.
What I did was I found every single MMO tier list, top 10, review, video, publication over the last 20 years. And then I kind of conglomerated all of that information into a massive chart.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Where I weighted every single possible video and every position of each game within that video. So if the video I was watching said, top 10 MMOs, the MMO in position 1 would get 10 points. Position 2 would get 9 points.
Okay.
And then I would take all that data, all those numbers, spent weeks adding it all together, and managed to scientifically, mathematically rate 250 MMORPG games from worst to best.
And I'm obviously not going to ask what the best one was because people can go watch the video, but like what did, mathematically, the top 10, was it also kind of reflective of what you thought was like the
without
top 10?
a doubt. So mathematically, it's a terrible idea to do this. My methodology was awful. People messaged me saying, Josh, I'm a mathematician and you're wrong. And I'm thinking, I'm not a mathematician and I know I'm wrong watching this. That's how bad this was. But yes, so what's happened is over the last, I'd say 10 years, MMORPGs have really pushed into the mainstream, which means there was simply more data available for the last 10 years. Games like Meridian 59, which is the first 3D MMORPG, games like EverQuest, which completely changed the genre with its battle against Ultima Online. These are titans of the genre and they're super important, but they're not popular now. So there were simply more videos comparing World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy XIV than comparing the island of Kesmai to Tibia.
Right.
Tibia.
I know Tibia.
Tibia is, I think, one of the longest running, still active MMORPGs. It's still going. You can still download it, still play it. Some of the original people are still there. One of the longest running games.
I remember I played this for a little bit when I was a kid.
Annoyingly, it's not the longest running social MMORPG, and that's a bit of an embarrassment within the...
No, not that.
No. So what's the longest running?
This is a bit of an embarrassing fact within the MMORPG space, but as we've got Google in front of us, I'm going to ruin your search algorithm now.
Okay.
Could you search for a game called Furcadia?
Oh my God.
I'm not even kidding. Furcadia.
No.
This is the longest running MMORPG.
Furcadia is... Whether it hits our modern parlance for MMORPGs is debatable, but it is the longest running, still socially active online game.
96. So it's almost 30 years.
I believe it was in the Guinness Book of Records for being
Of course, it's the longest running.
Longest running. It has just kept going.
Oh my God.
That's something we try and sweep under the rug pretty...
Respect.
quick.
You know, shout out to the furries, bro.
It's the furries propping up so many parts
They are
of
dedicated.
society.
After working on the internet, I realized that it is 90% furries.
That's what it was.
it
Of course. It's always the furries.
I was at a convention recently, and there was like an IT convention in one place, and then a furry convention in another, and it took me a while to realize they were the same convention. It was just all the IT guys were like, I see what you're into. Okay, cool. You know, keep it going. Keep propping up society.
Everyone here's from Seattle.
Yeah, it's
I've got friends from Seattle that were there.
It's almost a rite of passage.
Well, it's because you need that kind of income to support the hobby. You know,
Of course, yeah.
Now, I've had friends that actually make fursuits as a living, and they are incredibly detailed and remarkably expensive. How did we get here?
And incredibly rich, I assume.
And all MMO discussion eventually devolves into this.
So what's your thoughts on Furcadia?
You know what? I've not played
good?
Have you
Furcadia.
played this one?
So I don't want to be on every FBI list. So I've decided to stay away from Furcadia. There's just a couple of, as a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer, there's a couple of lists that you're put on straight away. I thought I'd stay away from this one.
There must be some MMOs that you're like, absolutely not. This scares me. Or the thought of getting
Well,
into
what
this
is the most
like too
cursed one?
daunting,
Yeah, what's the most cursed MMO that you know of?
Oh my
There's
goodness.
two different questions, I guess.
Oh wait, I thought that's what you were getting into.
No.
So
like,
the game that scares me that I won't play is Eve.
That's what
Eve
I-
Online.
Okay,
Oh,
that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Not because of the gameplay, but because of the player base. And I think anyone that does play Eve will absolutely understand where I'm going here. They are a player base of spreadsheets. They understand data, they understand timing, they understand backstabbing. Eve, there is an official Eve PowerPoint, not PowerPoint, Excel. There is an official Eve Microsoft Excel add-on. You can Google it. Because the game is just about spreadsheets. It's about working out data, working out missiles, working out everything. It's an Excel add-on for
Microsoft
it. It's incredible.
Excel add-in Eve Academy.
Yes.
What the fuck is
This is how much data goes into Eve. So if I say something bad about Eve Online, they will find
You're
me
getting added to the spreadsheet.
straight, immediately straight away.